Good morning and welcome to another episode of Coffee Chats with Toby. Today I'm actually crazy excited because I get to talk to you from one of our very own clinics up here on the Gold Coast. I am actually talking to you guys from the Gold Coast Performance Centre. So if you haven't had a look at that facility and you're up this way at any point in time, please guys check it out. It's unbelievable. You can probably see behind us, we've got a bit of a track scenario going on. This place is used actually for the training grounds for some of the con games. So yeah, pretty epic place. If you guys haven't checked it out, pop in, super friendly team here, and yeah, have a bit of a look. Anyway, so today I want to talk to you guys a little bit more about health and the actual word health, and more probably specific, the word healthy. Now, the reason I want to talk to you about this is it's probably a little bit more of a rant today than anything. And kind of what I'm hating to hear in media that's getting pushed out to everybody on social media or websites or Google or any of that kind of stuff. And this is the notion around the word healthy being used so much as an adjective or a description word for a whole bunch of stuff by a whole bunch of people that actually really probably don't actually know what they're talking about. So what I mean here is the concept of having this healthy food or unhealthy food, or oh, no, look, I eat really healthy, but it's coming from someone who certainly doesn't look like they're well. They've got a good level of nutrition or potentially the right amount of each of those macronutrients. So that's from the dietary side of things. I'll touch on that a little bit, but it's certainly not my forte. It's definitely more of a dietitian kind of question. But the other side of the equation is what people consider and think is a healthy, active lifestyle, which is obviously a lot about what we talk about here as exercise physiologists. So I'll touch on the dietary side of things first. A lot of people, when you talk to them, and you may have to put hand on heart and think about yourself here as well, when asked if they have a good diet or they eat good healthy foods, they quite easily and quickly say, yeah, absolutely, I eat lots of veggies, et cetera, et cetera. But I think that question deserves a pretty rubbish answer, because I think the question of do you have a healthy diet is really quite vague, because what is healthy for one person might not necessarily be healthy for another, and oftentimes I think the word healthy gets mixed up too much with weight, and people thinking, right, no, well, I'm skinny and I look healthy, so I must have a healthy diet. Well, that certainly isn't the case. In medical world or even the health world, so allied health professional world, healthy to us is a really kind of quite a vague description word that brings in together all these different types of concepts. So obviously there's a level of food intake compared to output, and hence a healthy amount of calories for you to deliver to your body enough energy to sustain the living style that you live, which is all what we often talk about, or should be often talking about when we talk about weight loss. But then you've got the macronutrients and even the micronutrients in our foods, in which is becoming more and more well known and researched in the dietetics world as to how these micronutrients affect our biomes. I'm not even probably using the right terms here, as you can see, it's not my space, but the biology and biochemistry in our actual gut. And there's been some really crazy and interesting kind of research coming out where we can actually make some ties to our gut biome and the diversity of foods we eat, and actually then leading or potentially preventing or helping to treat chronic diseases and disabilities. Parkinson's disease, there's a huge amount of research and energy going into that. So essentially the point of this ramble is for you guys to be more educated than every other Joe Blow out there in society, and to help kind of pass this message on, that when speaking about health or calling anything healthy, it really should come with a follow-up statement or explanation. If I'm saying I eat really healthily, and what I'm talking about is I'm getting enough macronutrients, I've got a great, and this often comes back to the old-fashioned nutrition pyramid, and getting all the right amounts of the different parts of the food pyramid. Now that's kind of more or less talking about our macronutrients. So we might be ace in terms of our macronutrient, but our diversity of food might not be actually all that great. We may really stick to the same foods every day. And that means our diversity of the bacteria, the good bacteria in our gut that we use for a multitude of different things, and again are coming up more and more when we're researching different diseases and disorders, are becoming really, really more apparent. So again, if I was that person and say I'm looking after my macronutrient in my food pyramid, that should really be what we're saying. Look, I have a great, I tick all the boxes for the macronutrient breakdown of my diet. I know it sounds crazy, but you guys, my goal for you guys is to be the professionals of your own body, and then therefore it's important that you understand the science behind it. If you're saying that you have a healthy diet when it comes to weight loss and gain, well, that's what you should say. Yeah, I've got my calories, all in a row, and because of that, I can sustain a good healthy weight. But certainly I wouldn't be out there saying, right, I have a great healthy diet if all I eat is McDonald's once a day. By eating McDonald's once a day, you might have the calories all sorted and be able to keep healthy in regards to your weight, which definitely plays a role in your health, okay? I'm not one of these people to say that, being overweight is okay. It's really not. Like, to be honest, we should be working on that, because it's not, our body isn't designed to be overweight. So we should be working at that. And we won't get into that kettle of fish, but yeah, so that's kind of my spiel on diet. Definitely go chat to a dietitian or nutritionist and find out more information on that. So the other side of things, from a physical activity side of things, it's so crazy the amount of people that walk into our office, and I ask, do you have a physically active lifestyle? And nearly everyone says yes. It's insane. Like, honestly, the amount of people that say yes without even asking the question is quite impressive. Oftentimes I then ask, great, like in comparison to what? And oftentimes I talk about the step count, right? The 10,000 steps, which is awesome, because at least they're comparing to something, and they're not just outwardly just suggesting that they live a healthy lifestyle. But when looking deeper, we often find that people aren't hitting, any of these kind of markers, and again, don't really understand. Like, if we're talking about weight, it's all about in comparison to our calories in. So do we have enough physical activity to maintain a healthy weight? And we're doing that by matching that and ensuring that at least we're equal to our intake. So we may do very little walking in a day, but actually eat very little as well. And to keep a healthy weight, we're keeping that on point. Now, does that mean that person is healthy? Well, in my opinion, no, because our body thrives off activity, movement, and resistance. It thrives off being challenged, and those challenges is what promotes it to want to grow and get stronger and more functional. So in my case, no matter what somebody looks like, I'm still going to judge whether or not I perceive them as healthy in terms of their physical activity. And then you can go further than that and go, well, they might be really cardiovascularly fit, which is the ability to run and do a whole bunch of movements of very little energy, but they might be really functionally weak in regards to their strength and their ability to lift and move things. Or they might be really functionally strong, be able to lift really heavy things, but not be able to utilize their energy very well. So essentially what I'm saying here is, the more descriptive we can get with our explanations of healthy, and the more people in society that understand this concept, the better we can come together and really kind of learn and be able to self-assess ourselves and be able to be honest with ourselves and ensure that we are actually globally healthy, or at least understanding the areas in which we are unhealthy. Because honestly, as all the greats or the really knowledgeable people say, knowledge is power. And if we don't know where we are healthy and unhealthy, well, how are we meant to help ourselves? Or even get anybody else to help us if we can't kind of depict the difference? So yeah, I appreciate you guys listening to my little rant here, but I think it's really important to educate you guys up. And like I said, my goal is to make you guys the professional at your own body and really kind of understand it the best that you possibly can. So thanks for joining me this morning. It's a beautiful day up here on the Gold Coast. I hope it's a wonderful day for you down there. And I look forward to chatting with you next time or next week. So until then, please stay healthy in all aspects of the word that we've just taken through, and stay safe. And we'll talk again soon. Thanks again, guys.